What's going on, you crazy gun nuts? Today we're taking a look at the IWI Carmel. This is a 16-inch 5.56 gun. It takes standard AR mags. You can't see the mag well right now because I got it covered up with the bog pod that I'm using for the review. It's just easier to have it on this than it is to try to hold it and show you all the features of the gun. One thing you'll notice about this is it looks reminiscent of a SCAR. It also looks a lot like the PSA Jackal. It kind of has the same, gives me the same vibes. I haven't shot the Jackal yet, but I'm wanting to get one and do a review and compare the two, because this does remind me a lot of the Jackal. This is a piston gun. It does have a folding stock, as you can see right here. It folds out. Now when you fold the stock, it folds downwards, which to me does not look aesthetic. If it folded straight out, it would look a lot better, but this does allow it to shoot with the stock folded. Now when you close the stock, I've heard a lot of people complain about that because they're right. Like, it does have like a little detent over here. It does lock in place so it doesn't flop open. But when you close this, like if you want to close your stock and do that, it don't close. You got to smack this like it owes you money. See, that didn't even do it. You got to, bam, that locked her in. That's probably the only thing I really don't like about this. Everything else about this is pretty much amazing. I will start this by saying this is not my gun. This is my wife's gun. She wanted something different than an AR, and she wanted another 5.56 gun. She has a CZ Bren. She's got a couple ARs, but she really wanted something with a 16-inch barrel on it that she could get out a little bit further with. So we got her this. You'll see in the shooting portion of the video that we had her can on it yesterday. She was with me. I don't have the can today because she is not home. When she gets home, we'll put the can back on it and she'll put it back in the upstairs safe. That way it stays, NFA compliant or whatever. She shoots right-handed, so we got this gun set up right-handed for her. We did put the EP8 that I have done a review on this. It's a really great optic for the money. It's a first focal plane, but it does a really good job of putting small holes in targets. And she wanted the side-mounted red dot. I just happen to have a Romeo 5 laying around. I think we're going to find her something different, probably a Hollow Sun, like the EPS little box. We're going to put that on there later, I believe, just because it's a better option than the Romeo 5. We just put it on there to see how she liked it. So far, she likes it. She can just turn the gun sideways, and she has something for, I got it sighted in at like 7 yards. This is sighted in at 50 yards, and it makes repeated shots at 200 yards, no problem at all. This gun is set up ambidextrous. It doesn't eject on the left side, but everything else about it is ambidextrous. It has your mag release here, and it has your mag release over here as well. It's got the bolt catch like any other AR platform does right there. So if you want to lock the bolt back, just lock it like you normally would. And it also has a bolt catch on the right side of the gun if you want to run it that way. Now the barrel on this is 16 inches. It is cold hammer forged and chrome lined. I really like having that feature. Some say that it hurts the accuracy, and I'm not a good enough shooter that I'm probably even going to notice the change in accuracy, because I was getting about 1.5 inch MOA out of my 77 grain reloads with Sierra Match Kings. It opened up to about 2.25 MOA with 55 grain, which is completely acceptable for what kind of gun this is. I'm more than happy with the accuracy of this, and so is she. So, I mean, it's, as long as Mama likes it, I'm happy. Now I did put a stream light on here for her so she can access that by the when she holds it right-handed. And she also wanted an angled foregrip. I'm not a big fan of an angled foregrip on a rifle. I like them on PCCs, but not rifles. I'd rather have a vertical foregrip. Like I said, though, this is hers. This is how she wants it set up. And she also wanted this bipod on here. This bipod came with her Ruger Charger when she bought it. I believe it's a UTG. It's not the most expensive. It's not the... Actually, it is about the cheapest you can get, but it works, and she wanted it, so it's going on her gun. She wanted the charge handle on the left-hand side, which she likes having her charge handles on the left as opposed to the right. I like having mine on the right, but if I did want to switch over to the right, this is probably the easiest charge handle I've ever changed. All you gotta do is lock your bolt back, and there's a little square slot right there. put it in that square slot, and push it through. You can see it is that easy. Bolts lock back. You can just take it from side to side. And it's also a non-reciprocating charge handle. So we'll leave it on the left. That way she don't complain when I give it back to her. This gun is a bit spendy. It's about 17. If you find them in a store, that's what we gave for it. I believe it was like 16 and a half or 17. It's on par with the rest of IWI's rifles. They're all about the same price, but they all have about the same quality. They're all very well-built rifles. I know a lot of people don't like them. There's political conflicts going on with the, you know, why people would not want to buy an IWI or would buy or would not. But I personally love their products. I have a Tavor 7 308, and I also got the Galil Ace 7.6239. I love both of those. And when she was looking for her 16-inch rifle, I was like, dude, let's find a Carmel because it will probably fit you well. And it does. If this were my gun, I would put this optic on a higher mount. I do have a hard time. I got to get really down into the buttstock to get a cheek weld. But she likes where it's at. And that's all I got to say. Mama's, like I said, let's make Mama happy. The cheek riser is adjustable. You can raise it up and down. I've heard people complain about that because you got to use 2 fingers to adjust it. But I've never had to adjust one of these on the fly. So, yeah, I'm not an operator by any means. I just am a gun nut. So, you know, that right there is adjustable. It's got a few different positions. Personally, I like running it down. If it could go down farther, I would probably run it that way. And it's also adjustable for your length of pull. And it actually gets pretty small. She usually likes hers up close, but especially with the LPVO, she's got to run it back farther. And she's not a big statured person. So, I mean, if she's got to move it back, it means this is a short length of pull. And yesterday we were running it on the suppressed setting. We've ran it suppressed and unsuppressed. And it did have a point of impact change, suppressed. So when I sighted it in yesterday, she was there. We had her can on it, and it did very well. In the suppressed setting, it didn't really feel overly gassed. I did get some gas in the face, but shooting right-handed, or shooting a right-handed gun left-handed, I always get blowback. It was burning my eyes, so I switched to the left, or sorry, switched to the right, and I was able to basically alleviate that issue, not having that gas blowing back in my face. And plus we were shooting under an awning, so there was no wind blowing around there. That might have had something to do with it, but it's not bad at all. And the only 2 settings on this are suppressed and unsuppressed, which is not a big deal because I don't really plan on turning the gas system off. It does come with a muzzle brake. You can see up here in the corner there that it's a 2-piece muzzle brake. Basically, you got to break the nut loose to get that off there, but it is a timed muzzle brake, so if you take it off and put it back on, make sure you get it in the right position. It is still loose because her can is going back on there when she gets home. Now, the main part of this gun is plastic. The lower receiver's plastic, the upper receiver's plastic. It does have an aluminum handguard on it, and your top rail for your Picatinny mount is aluminum. The stock is plastic, cheek riser's plastic, or polymer, whatever you want to call it. But it seems really well built. It, like I say, it really resembles a SCAR in some ways. And it's also fairly heavy. The way we got this set up, it is freaking heavy. Like, it's probably a 15-pound gun. A lot of people are going to say, well, 15 pounds ain't much. Shoot it. You know, run a few mags through it. And then you'd be like, that gun needs to go on a diet, just like me. But whatever. Now, this gun does ship with the B5 grip. It can take any standard mil-spec AR-15 grip. So if you don't like that grip angle or you don't like the grip texture, you can put your favorite grip on here and you're good to go. Now, as far as the safety goes on this, the safety is ambidextrous. But if you shoot left-handed, you'll want to switch the lever from the left to the right, because the lever on the left is longer than the lever on the right. That is extremely easy to change. Just like the Tavor is set up, you just take a bullet, you push in the center, and that pops off. You do the same on the other side, switch left to right, and it pops right back into place. but we're not going to do that. The takedown on this is very similar to an AR. It only has one pin. You take this pin out of the back, your receiver comes off of it, and it's got two little hooks here in the front that hook into the front. Now to get the bolt out of this, I can't show it. Maybe I can tell it. I don't know if it'll get flagged for that or not. There's a small pin. You take that pin out, you remove this metal tab right there. It's got two little arms on it. You slide that out and your bolt comes out of the back of it. And your bolt comes out just basically like an AK bolt. And it's very reminiscent of an AK on the inside. And being a gas piston gun, I noticed this does run extremely clean. I took the bolt out yesterday after we shot it, and I think we shot like another 120 rounds through it. And it was as clean as it was when we shot 200 rounds through it unsuppressed. We did have to send this back into IWI. It was not a issue we had with a gun, but there was a recall on some of the first Carmels that were made, and this just happened to be one of them. It took about 2.5 weeks for me to send the gun out and get the gun back. Their customer service was good to work with. I had a little bit of problems getting the shipping label with them. There was just miscommunication between them and I, but as far as sending it in and getting it back, it was acceptable. It was very, very prompt. 2.5 weeks for return is not bad. I will say that I am way more impressed with this than I am the Desert Tech that I bought for myself, because we both wanted new 5.56 guns. So I bought the Desert Tech MDRX because I can make an ejection on the left-hand side. It is back in the Desert Tech shop again for the third time now. Third time. I've had to send that gun back 3 times. Like I said, we didn't have an issue with this. It was just a recall. That's the only reason we sent it back. I don't really have to send guns back. I don't have major issues. The only guns I've had major issues with were the Ruger SFAR and that Desert Tech. Everything else I've had has pretty much ran except for, high points, and those are trash anyway. But that's going off on a tangent that has nothing to do with this gun. I am just upset that I did not buy one of these for myself and I bought a Desert Tech instead. I will never buy another Desert Tech. And I might end up buying one of these for myself. If I do, I probably won't run an LPVO. I'll probably just run a red dot. And my suppressor, I've got the exact same suppressor she has, because I want mine to be a little bit lighter weight. And because if I want to shoot distance, I got 308s for that. Now, if you want to adjust your gas system on this, it is as easy as taking a bullet out of your magazine, putting in here, and then turning the gas adjustment knob. You want to take the gun down, you use a bullet to take it down. IWI has done a really good job of field stripping these guns and manipulating these guns with just a bullet. I know the 308 Tavor is the exact same way. I can switch the bolt from left to right hand with just a 308 round. But if you got any questions about the IWI Carmel, let me know, man. I might be able to answer them. If not, then I might try to find out. Like I said, this is my wife's gun. It's set up for her. I really am kicking myself in the ass for not buying one for myself and buying something else. So I will probably get rid of that and end up buying one of these, because I really like this gun a lot. And that's usually how that goes. I buy something that she likes, she gets one, she buys something I like, and I get one. So we have a bunch of multiple guns of the exact same gun, because we just don't share very well. But if you got anything out of this video, please give me a like and subscribe for different content. We got an 8.6 blackout video coming up. I got the build back here on the wall. Still waiting on a few things for it to come in, and we're going to do a full review on the 8.6 black. But as always, thanks for watching, stay safe, and let's take back our Second Amendment.